Now, I've been thinking about joining the camera club, but why? Why would I join a camera club? Why would anybody join a camera club? What would we go in there for? Let's do it and find out.
Well, first off, where do you get your feedback from? Friends, family, social media like Facebook, Instagram? Well, I can tell you now that's not necessarily helpful. They're the sorts of people that want to see you, they want to see you grow, they want to see you feel good, but not necessarily give you honest or constructive feedback. That's where camera clubs can come in. Now, I've been a trainer for one of the UK's largest companies for over 7 years, helping supporting the growth of other people. So, camera clubs. Quite often in life, people that think they're giving us support aren't necessarily giving us support in a way that's supportive for us. Sometimes people see support as, I'll do that for you, let me do that. But what they don't do is give you support in a way that helps you to grow. They just give you support in helping whatever the activity is to be achieved, but that doesn't always help you. Look at me recording this now. I've just recognised the fact that by recording it myself, I haven't been looking into the lens all that well. I've been looking into the little camera or the screen next to me. If somebody just did that for me, then how would I have learnt that you really need to focus in on looking at the lens? So I guess the first thing is wait for tonight and then get in the car, get to the camera club. There's me not looking in the lens again. Get in the car, get to the camera club. I'll let you know what happens, let you know what it's all about. See if it's something for you from my experiences. So I'm off to the camera club without taking my camera. That's a little bit strange, but I'll let you know why soon. But let's see how it goes. So here I'm at the camera club. You may have noticed I'm in a t-shirt and it's 4 degrees outside. What am I doing in a t-shirt? Well, what I've never understood is, why do people get in their car, put the heating on, but also have hat, gloves, maybe a scarf and a coat? Why would you not just get in the car and put the heating on? And then when you get out the car, put your coat on. So I'm in a t-shirt with my jacket there. The reason I'm filming on my phone though, is because I don't have my camera with me. Why don't I have my camera with me when I've turned up at a camera club? Well, it's competition night. So tonight I've submitted 3 pictures and it'll be judged externally, so I'll let you know how that goes. Morning. It's the day after. It's not really though, is it? I just filmed that last bit a minute ago, went to the camera club last night, and I'm back now. But what did I learn? Well, the first thing is, just because I can't contain the excitement, 42 entries. I placed number 1 with this. Now, this is a picture that I took 2.5 years ago on my way to work. Near me there's a river, really nice. Occasionally what I'll do is I'll stop by and just go for a walk. And that's what got me into photography. It was in the mornings, going for a walk and thinking, this is nice. How can I show others what I've been up to? How can I show others how nice this is? This one here though, I happened to be driving past just at the time when the sun had just started to rise. I pulled over into the local street, walked across the road. Believe it or not, this here is right next to one of the main roads where I live. And just in the background, there's a lovely river. You can see here it was winter time because the tree is completely bare. I say completely bare. There's a few leaves, but they're going to be falling off. And I wanted to try and catch the sun just behind it. Now, ideally, I wanted the sun directly behind the tree, but I got it just to the side, and to be honest, I'm quite pleased that it came out that way. There's a lot of haze in the background. It was morning time, you know, when sunrise is. And I really liked it. I put it on a local Facebook group just to show what my morning walk was like. Ever since then, it's just sat on my laptop. And then when I had the opportunity to submit it to the photo group, the club, I thought, well, let's put it in. It's a blind test. I say test, competition, and the judge can take a look and give me some feedback. So that's what happened last night, and it did win first place. Now, last night I didn't have a print. I printed this morning, just so I could show you guys. And I thought what would be really nice is if I print my best placed picture of each month from the competition at the photography club. That would be quite nice to archive that and to look back across the year and see what I've done, see what I've submitted, and I've also written on the back what month I submitted it and what place it came. And I'm going to keep doing that, I think. I'm also going to print off my favourite picture of each month. So I'm going to have some from the photography club and some from just my selection that I'm happy with to look back at, and I'm going to keep doing that. But it got first place, so I'm pleased with that on my first entry. I do feel like next month I'm going to have to try and do something else to try and keep up there. Now, most nights are themed. This wasn't. This was completely open, so there was a massive selection of pictures, but that's what I had. One of the other pictures, though, was this. Now, the scores out of 20, this one, you may be able to see there. This one had 18 out of 20 points. The first one I just showed you, it was placed first, was 20 points. The only picture of the night to get 20 points. This one placed with 18 points. There was quite a few pictures which placed with 18. There was two that placed 19 points, I think it was. 18 points or less. I'm quite pleased with this one. This was actually taken at a car meet for a hotel that's traditionally ran car meets for a long time, but the owner had to sell. So the owner sold the hotel, and this was his last meet. Now, this was, if I remember rightly, January or February, a couple of years ago again. And I was walking back to my car to leave, and this was the queue of traffic trying to leave. Now, this is a Triumph 2000, I believe. It may not be. That's what I believe it is. And the lights from the car in front and the exhaust fumes lit up the driver, so you can see the driver's face. Now, the driver actually came across this picture on a Facebook page where I put some up from the night. He contacted me to say that a Triumph or a classic Triumph magazine would like to use the picture. So I got in contact with them and said, do you want it? They said yes, of course. No fee, unfortunately, but they did send me a copy of the magazine, so I do have the copy of the magazine. I am going to be framing it. But I also printed that off as well because I thought, well, for me, it's my first published picture in a magazine or anywhere other than where I've put it online. So I took that. The other picture I've not printed, but it was a picture at sunset. Again, that placed with 18 points. So overall, pretty pleased with the night. So for me personally, joining the photography club meant that I've got the opportunity to talk to others about their photography journey, what they get up to, what they like to photograph. There's an opportunity for studio nights, which I've really enjoyed. Looking forward to the next one. It's also given me the confidence to book my own clients. So since going there, I have booked multiple clients for multiple shoots, some in my home studio, some in a paid studio, which for me has been great for the finances, but also for the fact that you get an opportunity to use your camera and do things that I wouldn't ordinarily do. Before I joined the photography club, I wouldn't do too much studio work. I'd use the home studio with my strobes, but going to a big studio or a professional studio just gives you different opportunities. And going to the camera club has given me that confidence to do that. It's also given me the ability to see other people's photos, to see what they capture, and listening to the judges, giving unbiased information or advice or suggestion or opinion on the pictures that they're viewing really makes you think about your pictures and what changes you can make. Thinking about keeping things simple, which is easier said than done. keeping the edges clear. I'll show you this again. So on this picture here, although you might be able to see trees in the background, there is also trees to the left and the right. Now when I took this, I was really careful about making sure that I didn't get the trees either side of it. Now before I printed it and before I submitted it, when I was processing it, I did crop it slightly just to lose the trees from the left and the right. I'm not a big fan of deleting things or cloning things out, although sometimes you need to clean up the image, but I did that. Now this is the first one I've ever submitted to a competition. One of the feedbacks for the other people was keeping things simple and keeping the edges a little bit cleaner. So I'm really pleased that I did that, because had I not done that, it may not have placed so well. So I have actually been to 2 competitions now. The first one was just, I went there to the camera club just to see what it was all about, and it was a little bit strange in the sense that I walked in a room, there's people sitting down, there's a judge at the front, and he starts discussing things about the pictures, and we all sat in silence and listened. The judge last night though, some of the comments that were made were things like, this just looks like somebody's holiday snap, which, maybe it did, and that's maybe the level of some people's photography at a photography club, and that's absolutely fine. They go there for their own reasons, and that is fine. But just be mindful that if you are going to start submitting photos in a photography competition of any class or any level, some of the feedback you may appreciate, you may not appreciate, but that's the risk you take, right? And how can you grow if you don't gain people's honest and open opinions? And sometimes your friends and families won't necessarily give you that. So your friends and families can definitely give you a confidence boost, they can make you feel good, but actually getting someone with technical understanding and judging experience and then give you feedback on the back of that can really help you. Now, you don't have to choose to follow their feedback. You can still go, do you know what? My photography is my photography, and that's what I like, and that is absolutely fine. But if you want to grow, you want to do something more, and you're open to listening to what people think, it's a great way of doing that. So last night I said that I went to the photography club, didn't take a camera, and the first night I did that was really strange. I was still driving there, it's a 20-minute drive from where I live. I was driving there, constantly thinking, what am I doing? Why on earth am I going to a photography club with no camera? Now obviously it was for a competition night, the pictures had been taken, submitted, but I could see on the programme there were other things listed, such as talks. So they get different people in with different abilities, different specialist things to talk about, like printing or different photography styles that will talk to the group to learn, basically, if that's what you want to know. Now, some of the other nights, the studio nights, which I've said about, are great, and some of them are things like Photoshop or Lightroom skills. It's whatever the club has organised. So I had a look through it, because they do a studio night every month. That's what drew me in, and if they didn't do that, I don't know if I would have joined. But without the studio nights, it's still been quite a good thing to go to, and if I just went to the competition nights each month, I think that'd still be enough for me to keep going. Now, I have actually been to multiple studios or multiple camera clubs, should we say, and the first one I ever went to was pre-Christmas, and it was for a studio night at a camera club, and it just so happened that I couldn't join that one purely because it was on an evening that didn't work out for me, so I couldn't go, and that's what led me on to looking at this one that I went to last night. Now, the demographic of people, the age, male, female. The male, female has been quite mixed. It's relatively even, I would suggest. The age, I'm 36, look 15, I know. But everybody else, or the majority, let's say, are sort of retirement age. And then you get people that are a little bit younger, so 50s, 40s. But I am one of the younger ones that goes. But don't let that sway you. These are people that are looking for things to do similar to what you're looking to do with your camera. So the age isn't an issue, and everybody has been really friendly. One of my concerns was that there's a bit of snobbery sometimes around photography and what people want to say, not want to say, and how they're going to interact with you. But I can honestly say this group of people, they're really good, really welcoming. Everybody is appreciative of what you do, and everyone's really supportive. So one of the studio nights I went to, you know, you can watch people, they help each other with the flashes, they help each other with strobes, they help each other with some of the constant lights if that's what they're using, they help each other with using the camera, sharing some of their kit, just to give them the opportunity to experience these things with cameras that maybe they're not used to. Now, cost. So everything to do with cameras costs money. You want a lens, it costs money. You want a battery, it costs money. You want a new body, it costs money. You need a filter, it costs money. You need some sort of reflector, it costs money. A light, it costs money. So of course a camera club, it costs money. Now, both clubs that I've been to have yearly memberships, and without the yearly membership you can't attend the sessions. They've both had trial evenings, which I attended for both clubs, where you either pay the fee for that night but you don't pay the subscription, or you don't get charged at all for the first night, just to see if you like it or not. But this current one is £35 a year. So £35 a year essentially gives me the opportunity to go to any amount or any number of meetings that they have throughout the year, as little or as much as I like. So if all I want to do is the studio nights, I just go to the studio nights. There's a fee per night, which isn't a lot. So a standard night, like last night for the competition, it's £5. £5 for you to listen to somebody giving you feedback and observe other people's pictures, I feel is fairly reasonable. And if I don't want to go next week, I don't go and I don't pay. If I want to go the next week, which is the studio night again, I go and I pay for that night. So for me, the fee isn't realistically a fee. It's, you know, potentially cheaper than just getting one drink with a meal. So for me, I'm happy to pay that, and it's not too much. So should you go? Well, that's entirely up to you. It depends on what you want. What I've decided this year is I'm going to put myself in positions that make me feel uncomfortable and anxious. And why am I going to do that? I'm doing that because it's at those times when you start to develop or push yourself a little bit further. I'm not the type of person to go somewhere by myself into a club where I know nobody. I've done that this year, and the outcome was some little endorphins firing at me to make me feel good. It makes me feel proud about what I've done and what I've achieved, but I never would have done that. Now, sitting there last night when they were critiquing the photos, I was anxious and nervous sitting there, and then when I recognised that all 3 of my photos that I submitted were all in the top bunch to be reviewed at the end, that makes you feel really good, even if I hadn't placed in the top 3. If I hadn't put myself in that position, who knows? The other thing is going to the camera club not knowing if I'd be comfortable. But I went and I thought, do you know what? Nobody knows me there. And if I bump into somebody I know, then that's just what happens. But in the past month, 2 months, I've met quite a lot of good people just from going to these clubs. And I've really enjoyed that. And I'm going to keep doing it. Doing studio sessions with models, getting paid to do that. Yes, I feel anxious doing that. Every session I do feel a bit nervous. But every session I do, I learn more, I gain more confidence, and I push myself a little bit further. So this year, that's what I'm doing. I'm putting myself in positions where I do not feel comfortable and I feel anxious, because that is how I'm going to make the most of my photography time. So if you've been to a camera club, or you want to go to a camera club, or you're going to go to a camera club, let me know.